The council has assembled. They are eager to hear your report.
Good evening. We begin tonight's meeting of the council by calling the council to order. Hello and thanks for joining us. The council is a live Twitch talk show and podcast discussing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I am Elise, and with me are my fellow council members, Redna.
Hey.
Magic Ace.
Hello.
And Sakari.
Hey, everybody.
This week we're going to be talking about romances. We are aware, however, that the roadmap was released today, and we are going to talk about it soon.
Wait, what?
Yes,
soon.
Today.
The what? What's a roadmap?
Roadmap!
The long-awaited
roadmap.
roadmap?
From point A to B. Yeah.
Yes.
The roadmap where there is all kinds of stuff. Okay, I'm sorry.
After the roadmap, then you look back and go, honey, stop and ask for directions. After our live broadcast, you can find our recorded episodes everywhere that podcasts are found and on our YouTube channel. Yes, we have YouTube. It's not just Twitch. Just click on the panel below, somewhere below there, and visit our website at thecouncilswtor.com and check out our social media. Don't forget to follow us on this platform, Twitch. Beautiful Twitch. You can also find our Facebook page at facebook.com/thecouncilswotor. Our Twitter is at thecouncilswotor. You can also find our Patreon page at patreon.com/thecouncilswotor. And in case if you didn't catch that, it was the Council SWTOR.
That was very smooth. Yes, just to kind of echo what we had just said, we are aware that there's the roadmap came out. We will visit that soon. There's a lot to unpack in that, and we don't want to do that with like just 2 hours of lead time. So give us some time to percolate on that a bit, and we will get to the roadmap ASAP. So we'll get to that.
Yes,
soon.
if this was a bland, boring roadmap, we could get it over in an extra second and 15 minutes, or whatever. But this one's gonna take a while.
That's what she said.
Actually, that's what the talking head said. The floating head.
Yes.
All right,
Really?
so
With no Big Mac.
Oh.
There's Big Mac is there.
Is Big Mac there? We just can't see it on our side.
Yes.
Can't see Big Mac. Oh, bye, Big Mac.
All right, ladies and gentle beings, the icebreaker question for the night, given our topic, is what characteristics draw you to your favorite romanceable character in SWTOR? Magic, what about you? Because I'm sure you have a lot to say about this.
Are you sure you want me to go first?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I hope.
Okay, well, since you said what's my favorite, then I'll save the negatives for later on. Okay, so the characteristics that draw me to a romanceable character is obviously because it's a video game, I want them to be good looking. I'm going to be shallow because it's a short amount of time playing. I don't want someone who's hideous because I have time for hideous in real life, but this is a video game.
So no sketch.
Chop. No, gosh, no back fat and flaps for me. I'm good, thanks.
Here, I thought you had a thing for Skadge. I'm sorry. I was way off.
Anyways, obviously, I want there to be
Was that a hairball? Is that an Auric reference, maybe?
I think that was
Eric Jorgen. Yeah, just a little bit. No, honestly, he's not the worst. So, the next one I look for is the personality, because this is just a foreshadowing of what I'm going to say later. A sniveling characteristic like maybe Malavai Quinn is not going to do it for me. Not going to be interested in romancing a character that does more time kissing your butt and backpedaling than actually making a romanceable move. If you have to pretty much coax them into it, it's almost like they're under duress. It's not a real relationship or like a romance. It's like, oh, I'm terrified that the Sith Lord's going to cut me down. I'm going to pretend that I love them. So my favorite romanceable characteristics are good looks and personality. And I guess after that it would be, can they make jokes? If they can't make jokes, they're boring, which is why I'm not a fan of Eric
So
Jordan.
that must be like R4X must be one of your favorites, right? Doesn't he do all those?
M14X is the bee's
I
knees.
love him. He reminds me of the droid who's like, danger, Will Robinson, danger! Love M14X so much, but you cannot romance him.
For the Republic!
Awkward. I'm pretty sure they call that a vibrator, just saying.
So this took a dark turn.
I don't think you can actually romance him.
A droid,
Yes.
quote unquote.
I told you.
Maybe we should move on from magic because she's gonna dig us into a hole here that we can't dig out
Got
of.
my shovel.
That was funny.
Elise,
good.
what about you?
I have to follow that?
Yes,
wow.
you do. You've got to recover for us.
So I had two favorites so far. Now, granted, I have to preface again, remember everyone, I have not finished all of the vanilla stories yet. So, I have 3 to go. But so far, what I have played, my two favorites are Torian and Theron. And I think I mentioned maybe last time, but I'll go over it again. Each one I like them for different reasons. I thought the Torian romance was more romantic, and you're more equal, I think, in that relationship. So I liked that. Although when I played it in my head, Torian's slightly younger than my bounty hunter. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, you think that too?
She calls him kid when she first comes in contact with him, so it mentally puts you in the state of mind that he's a bit younger than your character.
Right, which I kind of like, if them kind of pushing those kind of
a little bit of cougar action, right?
A little bit.
Lisa's like, oh yeah.
And then I also liked the kind of flirtiness of Theron, and that one very much kind of speaks to what you get a lot of times in a traditional BioWare romance line in their other games. You have to flirt a lot to hit those romance pots. And I don't really get that in the other romance lines that I've played. But to be honest with you, I didn't romance too many other people because I wasn't really... They didn't do it for me. But that's then the later part in the show. I'll talk about that. So that's
all right, Redna, what about you, my friend?
Well, I'll just answer from when I started the game, and my favorite character to romance was definitely a Akavi, and that's because I was in a very dark place, so having someone just come up to me and say, hey, I dig you. You want to hook up? Let's do it. And I was like, damn, that's so refreshing. You know, like I'm in a totally different place now, but that was fun at the time.
I think Akavi might be JT's favorite also, so maybe that...
Really?
Yeah. From other conversations I've had about this topic, but yeah, I think it's JT's favorite as well.
Well, I like the fact that she's totally independent. She's completely, self-assured. She's confident. Like she just comes in and says, "Listen, do you want me to go blow this up, or can you think you can handle it?" And I'm like, "Nah, go ahead. You can kill him for me."
So what you're saying is between Torian and her, then that Mandalorian's the best romance options. That's what I'm hearing out of this.
Well, I did originally romance Risha, but that was because I was, role-playing Han Solo, and without giving too much spoilers concerning...
Risha. How can you... Yeah. Risha's one of those characters that's hard to avoid romancing. I'll say it that way. She's like Darkside Jason.
If you play a girl, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, I despise Darkside Jason, actually, but...
Really?
At least Risha had the title, and I mean, if I'm going to be the smuggler, I need to romance the princess,
Darkside Jason was such a freak. She scared me. I was watching my husband play, because I haven't actually done that romance. I watched him do it, and I was like, did she really just say that? He's like, oh my gosh, she did. We took a screenshot and looked at it later. I'm like, I cannot believe Star Wars put that stuff in there.
She's like, let me show you what a real Sith can do.
She's like, I think...
And then Magic was feeling all... Magic was feeling
no, she's talking about being with this guy and then killing him later. She's like, I think, but I don't remember. I'm like, what?
Yes, I'll grant you. It's kind of like that moment when you're watching the original Clone Wars cartoon television series, and you're thinking, oh, this is a kid's show. It's so sweet. And then you see Ventress take the Force, slam somebody against the wall, and then drag them through the air to her while she spears them on her lightsaber and then gives them a kiss. And that's not exactly seductive.
Or child friendly, really.
I banned that one.
No.
My 5-year-old can't watch that one. Much
indeed.
Sadness. What about you, Sakari?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So for me, so I have answered this question before. I've done some thinking about it. Vet is by far my favorite. And I think it's because I have a crush on Kat Tabor, who voices Vet, who I met way back in the day. I didn't actually meet her, but like I met Mission Veo, and I had a crush on Mission Veo back in the day, and it kind of just followed me through the games. So that's the deal. It's a voice thing.
My first scoundrel has Mission Veo's armor, and she's a blue Twi'lek.
Yeah.
My scoundrel healer.
Mission Veo,
she looks like, and she runs around with
Who's Misha Vale?
I forgot.
She was the Twi'lek in
Wookiee
KOTOR.
companion. The
Remember?
Wookiee companion she runs around with.
She runs around with Zalbar.
No, I'm talking about like in Star Wars: The Old Republic. I can't remember what that Wookiee's name is that runs around with the scoundrel. But I keep him out as the companion.
Bodar.
Bodar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we were on KOTOR still.
I keep Bodar out when I run around with my blue Twi'lek because of that. So yeah.
So you like him hairy, basically. That's Bodar is your favorite.
I'm not gonna say yes to that. I'm
she's
playing
not
up a
saying
character
no.
Let me just say I married a very hairless person. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. Just leave it at that. He's got a beard.
Alrighty then.
The red beard.
Yes, he does have a red beard.
Alrighty. Well, that brings us to the question of the week. The straw poll for this week was we polled the community to find out how they feel about having romance, to being able to romance companions in SWTOR. So now we're going to invite the chat to vote as well. I assume the graphic is up since I can't.
The graphic is indeed up, and Lady Dani will be sending the questions to chat here shortly. Excellent.
So the exact questions we asked was, how do you feel about being able to romance companions in SWTOR? The options were, I like it and I like doing it. The second one, I like that it's in the game, but not for me. A third is, I don't like that it's in the game. Fourth is, I don't care. And fifth is, I like that it's in the game, but it needs to be fine-tuned. So when Lady Dani is ready, I invite chat to vote A, B, C, D, E, I think.
Ooh, and Redna and I are not on the same user this time, so I get to actually participate. We're not going to override each other's answers.
Cool. Give everybody just one more minute to go ahead and do that, and then I'll go over the results that we got online, and then we can compare it to chat once everybody is ready.
So do we want to go ahead and talk about how we would have answered this between us?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. But I'm not going first this time. Sakara, you go first because you went last.
Oh, do I have to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, let me see. I think I like it and I like doing it. The first game that has ever done like romanceable companions, or actually companions at all, I think for me was KOTOR, but there was not much by way of romance. But then getting into SWTOR, yes, you could romance a companion. That's brand new to me. For me, I'm sure
it was romance.
There was romance in KOTOR.
I played it 15 billion times to know that there was romance.
To hook up with Bastila or
Karth.
Karth.
Which is why I had to romance Caden every single freaking time in Mass Effect because he's Karth Onassi.
That's the voice. I'm telling you, the voice matters. The voice matters.
That's why I couldn't give you any crap over you saying vet because I'm like, oh, okay, well.
I've done it. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead, finish.
But yeah, I mean, like, I enjoyed it. I like that aspect of this game. It's kind of cool. I like exploring the different romantic storylines, and so I definitely voted for I like doing it. For sure. Let's let the guys go first this time. How about that?
Yes,
Redna, what about you, sir?
Redna, you got.
I mean, it's okay that it's in the game, but I think it could be improved. Pretty universally. It used to be that at least, you had to work to getting your companion up. Credits were harder to come by. You couldn't just buy your way into their heart. And so you actually had to work your way through those conversations. And if you chose not to romance that companion, it was actually a pretty significant choice because you were eliminating the opportunity to gain
Procreate.
influence with them.
Oh, never mind. I was way off.
Although I did actually appreciate that with Risha, I was able to get to the point because she said, "Well, listen, I can abdicate my throne and be with you." And I was like, you know what? I don't think that you should have to do that for me. Why don't we just be together for the rest of our lives, but we don't need to make anything formal out of it? And she's like, "Sweet, sounds good to me." Next little mail I got in the mail was, "Hey, so you want to make babies?" And I was like, "Cool."
See, that's one of the 2 I have not completed. I'm working on it right now. I've got a level 45 smuggler I'm working on for a guy, so that's good to know.
Yeah,
Spoilers!
spoiler alert. Okay.
But
I haven't even finished that one yet, but
realistically, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that they could improve on it, particularly since they raised the influence from 10 to 50. And quite frankly, interacting with your companion is not the way to increase that influence, and that's frankly pathetic.
Yeah.
It's not designed for the romance itself is not designed to be meaningful or impactful in the game as per the actual character and how you would use them as a companion. And I think that is a woefully neglected aspect of the game that I'd like to see them correct.
You don't have
Because
to
the whole point
pursue
of
them
romance
now.
is you have to pursue to get a romance, but now you don't. You're like, I'm buying your love. Here's 700K worth
No,
of
not
gifts,
even that.
and,
Not even that.
like, we're maxed.
You just have to progress through your story. Once you get through your class story, you've gone. It's all worked out. That's the problem, is that you can't, like, and what used to be really cool in my opinion was that, like, if you were dark side and the romanceable was light side, or vice versa, it was supremely difficult to get to know them and get to make that work. Now you just have to get far enough, and it just seems a little bit more mechanical, I think. So I agree, Ridna.
All right, Elise, your turn.
I kind of have a combination of 1 and 2. I like it and I like doing it, but I agree with Redna. I think there could be some improvements. Most of the time you should have some choice, and you don't get any choice in the, at least vanilla class line. You get this, like, one person, and that's pretty much it. And if
Unless
you don't,
you're a warrior.
Yes, warriors got all the
Okay.
people.
and I don't know about that because I haven't finished that class story, so I don't know. But or you get Theron.
It
Do you
gets
know what I mean? Like
complicated.
you get that until you get to Shadow of Revan, and then you can pick another one. And I
Are
don't
we gonna
like
talk
that.
about Theron? Oh, okay.
Well, I will let you jump back into Theron because I talked about Theron last time.
You
But
get,
Turn
you
a
get
fan
options
on
in McNabb
first.
for new.
I got my
romance
fan. It's on. We're good.
Okay, good. get a cold towel or
prepared.
something if you have
I
to.
knew we were talking romance. I'm like, whew, got my window open. I got my fan on. No, I keep that on anyways. Were you completed with that, Elise? Are you done?
no, it's fine. I can talk more about it in the next section. You knock it out. Finish it up.
Oh, okay. I obviously said I like it and I like doing it. However, with the caveat that I think there are some woeful mistakes made. Woeful. Like, I don't want to ruin into the next section, but I'll just say this to keep it short. If they created a couple of more interesting people to romance for the female characters, then I would have zero problems with the romance. I just feel like most of the males are very similar in personality, so I feel like I'm kind of romancing the same dude over and over again, just with a different class, which I gotta tell you is freaking boring. So Theron is a breath of fresh air because he's all like witty and he's got his own storyline and he's like deep into the grit. Like he even talks to Revan and stuff. He's like, oh yeah, he's my ancestor and stuff. The other people are like, oh, I have a buddy I have to go save. The other one's like, oh, I have a few buddies I have to go save. And this one's like, I got another couple more buddies I have to go save. Can you help me? So yeah, other than that, I wish that would be fixed. But I like doing it. Take that how you will. And I would like to see more of that stuff in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right.
that's all
So
four of
are we
us.
ready? Oh, I'm
Sure.
sorry.
Let us, lady, if you wouldn't mind, send the results from the chat poll to our chat now, and let's see what people decided to vote on in our chat. And then what we'll do is we'll compare that to the options that we had in our poll.
Sounds good.
A straw poll.
Oh yeah, and I have to say Theron's hair is the best hair of all the male companions. Okay,
It is. Although the jacket man was just ratchet. I'm sorry, but
It's almost like a
the
Michael Jackson
80s
Thriller
pop-up
jacket.
collar just isn't doing
Hey,
it for me.
It's
just
in a
needed the
galaxy
shoulder
a
pads.
long time ago, okay? Don't mess with their fashion.
Well, yes, but I mean, do we really have to have 80s fashion come back around in that time frame? I mean, really? Didn't we have it done enough? Can't we?
Well, I mean,
We have another fashion come back around again?
It's not elephant bell bottoms, so I don't know what you're crying about.
Are you
'cause,
talking about
it could
the
be worse.
Yeah,
80s?
but that was the 70s. We're
I know,
talking
so
about
it's
color
like-
was
Are
the
you guys even
80s. I
speaking
mean,
English anymore? Like, what are these words? Elephant bell bottoms? Like,
Yeah.
what?
wow, Redna.
What?
And I
We're
don't,
gonna
I don't
have
know
a
what
conversation.
I don't know
He's
what
such a
decade
guy
we're
right
talking
now.
about because in my opinion I thought we were talking about before the Battle of Yavin. 80s? What do you mean the 80s?
I
That's
thought
what
that
I
was
said. I'm like, it's in a
70s
galaxy
because
it was made
long
in the
time ago,
70s.
far away. Our timeline doesn't work with theirs, so 80s doesn't do it for me.
That's hilarious.
They weren't cute
So-
here. They're not cute there. Just saying.
Looks like chat has a winner here.
Cool. What was it? Second.
Hey,
So
they
A was the
like
winner for
doing
chat.
it. Oh,
And that's
you
the same with
doers.
ours.
Everybody well, hold on a moment. We got some votes for E as well. And E is I like that it's in the game, but it needs to be fine-tuned. So it seems like our chat poll very closely resembles what happened in our
Yep.
actual poll. Do you want me to put the results for that up?
Yeah, please. So we had 314 votes this week, and number one was like it and like doing it. And number two was, I don't know, about half. I like that it's in the game, but it needs to be fine-tuned. Third is I don't care. Fourth is I like that it's in the game, but it's not for me. And the fifth one with 3 votes is I don't like that it's in the game.
Interesting.
And then we had a comment on the poll. I'd have to pull it up. Does anybody have it? Do we want to read the comment, or somebody made a comment to the poll?
I have no idea what we're referring to.
To the
I'm
straw
still
poll.
stuck on
To
elephant
the
bell
straw
bottoms.
Here, I can read
You're
it. I have
let
it.
it go right now.
Please do.
Higgister.
If you have it up, I don't have it up.
Higgister said, feel they need to take a look at the whole class storylines because there are companions that are romanced and have yet to make their return back to the storyline. Okay, so it does kind of echo.
Yeah, I feel like that
sentiment.
should have been a priority. I mean, if you're getting characters back, unless they're specifically needed for the battle, like I understand, like Vet had a part to play with Galt. Like I understand why you'd bring back Galt, even though you can't romance him. Like he specifically had a part to play. But you would think that they would want to bring back the romanceable ones first, because then it also gives the conflict. Have you romanced Lana or Theron or Koth, and then you have these people come back?
Did you
It's
cheat?
Like,
You cheater?
Yeah.
Right,
So-
exactly.
Like,
Wait.
just for pure controversy purpose, you would think that would be one of the first, like, companions they would bring back. But no, like, the agent got most of theirs back, and the warrior got a majority of theirs back, and then you've got, like, a few of us over here who get one. Like,
Mm-hmm.
What are you
The
talking about?
sage-
I have every one
the
of my
sage got, like,
companions.
one. Well, you use that little thing, the little terminal to bring them back, right? I'm
I
talking
don't
about
know what you're
story
talking about. No. I romanced, I got married, and I've been floating around the galaxy having a blast. What
Well,
have you
that's
guys
not
been
new
up to?
content.
That means you have one of the classes
Oh,
that has
yeah, I got some
all your
phone
people
call
back.
about, like, come take over the galaxy, and I was like, hell no, I'm a smuggler. Why the hell would I want to rule the galaxy? No. But now, apparently, I've got to go and kill that bastard, but we'll deal with that in the next patch, I imagine.
Well, there's a lot
Yeah,
of
I heard about a
saltiness
bunch
from
of those
people.
fools that end up, like, they got kidnapped and let all of their companions ditch them, and then they got deep frozen for years. Morons. Do you know how much credits I've been making over that time period? It's freaking fantastic.
With Risha
I
as
will
your
say, though, I will
Basically
say,
left their
though,
bank accounts wide open for me. That's all I'm saying.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I will say, though, with all those people missing, they're, like, asking for their identity to be
I know,
stolen.
and you guys want to
However-
know where your companions are? They're
You
with
could
me on
make-
my ship, because I got the money.
You can make a lot of money selling protection for that type of thing. Run your own scam. You can steal their identities and then sell them protection to keep that from happening again. There you go.
Okay, I
It's a
thought you were
racket.
going for a different protection.
Hmm.
But okay.
Yeah, Redna, do that one too, because on Ord Mantell, that one guy apparently needed some. He had like 15 ladies in there with him.
Oh yeah,
the smuggler storyline.
That was sad.
He's like, "Come here, ladies. So these war widows need my attention." I'm like,
Throw up in my mouth a bit.
yeah.
Right.
There are a lot of people who are very salty about the fact that Mako has not come back.
I don't care.
So there are lots of
Torian
Mako
back.
stuff.
I got Torian back, so I'm like, whatever. I've got Torian, I've got Theron. Screw the rest of you guys, respectively.
So do we want to have a kind of a deeper discussion about the nature of this thing? We've kind of touched a little bit on our.
What's this thing? We're talking about the romances.
We're talking about touching the thing.
Not that thing.
Yeah, I'm getting nervous.
It's a slightly different thing, Magic. So there's,
leave the door open.
There's a lot to the whole notion of romancing, right? And Redna, you said that you had a bit to say about how they'd written this. Did you unpack that enough earlier? You know what I'm saying? Like
how they'd written which?
Well, the way that they implemented like romances in the game entirely, like with the change that they did, making it so that you just unlocks as you go through the story. Was that the only beef that you had against that, or was there more to it than that?
No, I mean, I think that's just what would make it. It would be nice to have it be relevant. The fact that they've decided to spend the last 2 years recreating the entire premise of the story, changing the fundamental aspects of the Emperor himself, and disregarding the fact that you spent years developing these relationships with your companions, of course, is a little bit problematic. But that's why, with the characters that I cared about, that I had companion, experiences with, that I thought were interesting and good storytelling, I didn't kill that storytelling by participating in the butchering of that story content. But they gave me characters that I could use as tokens where I could start and play through from that point. They didn't have those companions in the first place. So I don't feel bad that I lost them because I never had them. All I know is that, some people return my ship later.
Yeah, I suppose that works.
That's about how it works.
Ship back, but all the people that you cared about, they're gone. Sayonara.
There were a couple things in general, particularly with the vanilla. Well, okay, the vanilla storytelling, the thing that I had the most problem with was there were several companions that I was made very uncomfortable trying to romance because they're so persistently saying no. Mm-hmm. And I'm that sleazy bastard that's like, oh, but come on, baby. Listen, seriously, I'm not interested in you at all whatsoever. Oh, but sweetheart, we would have the time of our lives. No, seriously, I think that you're a bad person and I don't want to be with you. I don't find you attractive. Come on, sweetheart. I got some credits. Okay, fine. It's like, it's not even flirtation. It's physically forcing yourself on a person. And that is just really made me uncomfortable.
Right.
It's not pleasurable to try to go after somebody. They're basically saying, I would rather die. But since you're my superior, I guess I'll let you. Okay,
fine. At the end of the day, if you're going to torture me and kill me, I guess I'll just sleep with you instead so I can at least stay alive. Ooh, great relationship.
Yay, romance.
Let's get married.
And then with McCab, I was actually, and I've mentioned this before, but I was really disappointed with their implementation, their initial implementation of the same-sex story arcs, because quite frankly, there was zero creativity involved in it. All they did was say, okay, your female voice actress says the exact same lines as the male voice actress, and then the female or male same-sex response is identical. There is no creativity, no distinction that says, okay, this is a different form of romance. It's just, okay, it's okay because it's same sex, guys. So you could totally agree with us. And this is good storytelling, even though we literally copy pasted the lines and there's nothing unique about it. Yeah. I was a bit underwhelmed by that as well. Also, the mere fact that every single one of the characters that was added that could be romanced by the same sex is basically bisexual because they'll also be willing to do it with somebody of the opposite sex. It's like, okay, is there no person that actually makes up their mind in the game?
Yeah, but
Tori.
All I can say though is with that, there's been times, we'll just bring in Inquisition, where BioWare has sex gated romances, and there was brouhaha about it.
Yeah.
So, in their defense...
just brouhaha about it in real life. And you know what? Maybe they should hire a diverse set of authorship that could accurately portray that kind of a romantic lifestyle and represent it. Just like the original Vanilla had horrible female romances because they didn't decide to hire a female to actually write something interesting.
Right.
They just said, "Hey guys, tell us how you think a woman would like to hear a story."
And oh my gosh, it's not
And
how
we're
women
talking
like
about
to hear
this.
it.
Yeah.
But they did have romances, though, that were written for unique ones in other games. That girls couldn't romance this character. They were, male
So, I
only
think-
and only female. And they got all kinds of
Steve
flack. And then people
Cortez.
just made mods so that they could,
Yes.
romance them
Steve
anyway.
Cortez is
So-
the biggest heartbreak in Mass Effect 3 because I love that dude and I can't play a male character, so I never can romance him. It makes me super sad.
And a good author and good storytelling doesn't let their story be changed by the reader. They're the ones telling the story, and the person that participates and enjoys that entertainment does so at the whim of the author and the storyteller.
Right,
You don't
but if you have
wag
somebody
the
who
dog.
makes a
I'm not gonna.
mod, they can't do anything about that.
I'm not going to
So-
call up Timothy Zahn and say, "Hey, man, you ruined Thrawn in your new novel. Rewrite it my way." Like, no. If you don't like it, don't read it.
The original one was the best.
Yeah, but I don't know that you can. So yes, Redna. That point taken. Let's consider it for a second, though. I don't know that you can say, well, okay, all of you guys playing this game, it's going to be. We don't care what you think. If you want to romance this character or that character, we're going to just say no to all of this stuff. You're going to get what we tell you to get.
Yes, I think they should design a story that is meant to be told the way they want to tell it. And if that character is gay, they're not straight, then they shouldn't be romanceable by straight. You shouldn't be able to say, "Hey, let me keep on hitting on you. I know that you're gay, but let me keep on hitting on you because maybe eventually, oh, hey, now you're going to do what I say."
That's why I don't understand why Caden went gay in the third one. The first one, he freaks out if you have a romance with Liara. He's like, but she's female. But then in the third one, he's like, hey, baby. It's kind of weird in my opinion. So I think that the reason why they did the bisexual stuff with this, like that either side can romance them, is for one, they're limited. They only introduced 3 romanceable characters. If they limit who can romance them, then you're really limiting, like, period, because people like me who have a hard time making male tunes,
I think it goes
you're
deeper
never going
than
to get to
that.
romance them.
I think it goes deeper than that. There is a reason that you can't romance same sex in the core stories, and that's because I think there was a policy like we're just not going to go there. And then I remember reading reading like an article where EA had said, "Hey, we're going to do this policy. We're going to allow this." And then you
meant the new content
come out. Well, then the new content came out after that, and I think it was because of that policy change. Then they were allowing that to happen. So. I think there was some business that happened behind the scenes where there was a policy that was kind of rolled out, and so that opened it up.
Don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, that I'm glad that they made it available, and we've even got people in the chat room now that say, "Hey, at least they've got an option," and they don't always put the same sex choice themselves when it's available to them. But at least now there's somewhere where they can actually participate in that, and for that, I do greatly appreciate it. I just think that as BioWare is touted as being this glorious storyteller, and granted, I think I'm coming to the realization lately that I don't care quite as much about that as most people, even though I've experienced all of it. I just wish that they would take the same care and time to invest into it as they do, the stereotypical stuff.
One thing I think is also interesting, this is kind of a different angle on this, is how each of us brings our own personal sensitivities to this picture, right? Like I was just thinking, as Magic Ace, you were talking about, here's what I like in a person, here's what I like in this, I'm looking for a confident one, and I'm looking that he can't be like a sniveling dude like Malavai. That's you. That's what you would personally look for in a romantic relationship.
Which is why Torian is my favorite, because he is 100% opposite of Quinn. 100%.
Right. But I think that's interesting is that every one of us brings those our background. We have our background. We have our religious beliefs. We have our sensitivities, politics, even all of that comes to it. And then I come to the game with that, and I'm looking for what I'm looking for in that. And that's no matter, even if I'm role playing my characters, I'm still going to be informed. I think to that degree, by the sensitivities that I bring to playing that character. So there's a sense in which BioWare kind of has to have it open to everybody so that anybody can pursue what they want to pursue in the game. So so they've got policy on one side, they've got giving the players what they want on the other side, and then they've got telling the story like Redna's point is on the other side, and they're kind of in the middle of that
Right.
a very dicey game of having to make sure all of that happens at once, kind of a thing.
Right.
So.
Well, and that's kind of why it's a little disappointing that from female character perspectives, because I've done all the romance options for all females in all 8 of those stories. That's why it's depressing that a majority of the personalities are very similar. You've got Corso and you've got Iresso. They're like more straight-laced, good guy. Like they'll only make once in a while a dark side choice. Like if it suits a personal like vendetta of theirs. Otherwise, they're like straight-laced and they're like, oh, I'm gonna be a little shy and bashful. Like, and then you've got
give me some
I
Game
liked
of Thrones
Corso,
with it all
though,
mixed
better.
up.
Yeah, I liked Corso though better than I liked Eros. What's his name?
Iresso.
I didn't even. I
Actually,
didn't
I
even
liked
romance
the
him.
other
I
one
did not
better.
like him.
Iresso
See,
was
I
such a
didn't like
dry
Corso.
character.
Corso was such a butt kiss, though. He was such a butt kiss that
Matthew
he
McConaughey.
annoyed me. Oh my
Yeah,
god!
though,
And he's
he
like,
kinda
look
had
at
that.
Flashy.
He had
Oh
that.
my blaster! And I'm like, you sound like you're talking about a different piece, and I don't like a guy who's constantly bragging about his piece. So for me, it was very, very annoying. I only romance Corso just because
I name all my
need
pieces,
affection.
baby. This
So-
one's torchy.
So wait,
I mean,
did,
let's talk about the fact that we have
did he
one
have a
alien to
removable,
romance.
replaceable piece? Because he did have a lot of different.
I think
names.
so.
I don't know,
I
but he
think-
named all of them.
His emitter
But,
was
I mean, how
faulty.
many
He needed
human-
to change it out.
How many humans do the females have to romance versus the men? I mean, like, men characters, you've got Ashara and Vet, and you have...
They're very diverse,
the-
that's for sure.
Right, like,
guys
you
get
have, like,
2?
4 or 5. We have...
Per romance. I mean,
we
the
kind
girls
of
only have one.
2. We kind of have 2 aliens, so to speak, because Vector he's a joiner.
Yeah.
So he's like half kind of. He's not full,
He's
but
half
he's
bug.
not. Yeah.
Can
he's
I throw this
He's
out
a
there?
mental bug, but he's still biohuman. He is.
Can
Yeah,
I
but
throw-
you only get one romance though per storyline, right?
Yes.
Only
You only
one
get
that can.
one
course
Only
story.
one that can be permanent.
Okay,
only-
but do
yeah,
the guys
yes,
get more than one? Because the girls only get one,
Up to a
right?
certain
Yeah,
point, yes.
There
the
are
warrior
several that can
have
get
2.
more than.
So
yeah.
that's
The warrior
like
can have 2.
uncool.
The smuggler can have
That's
2.
uncool. There should be more than one.
I agree.
In
And how about
other BioWare games, there's more than one choice. I don't understand why there's no
okay,
other.
so I do want to throw this out here. So this is to your point written earlier. Larry mentions that you can't romance Lord SWTOR as a female tune. What do you think about that?
I could originally. I did.
As
So
a female
if that
character?
was something they changed. Yeah.
No, I thought you could just flirt with him, but he kind of like ignores you. That's the thing I've always gotten. You can flirt with him several times, and it's just kind of like, anyways.
Because I
Like,
think
still
I
flirt.
think
Okay.
because I want to say I agree with Larry is that Lord in my I played that through multiple times, and in my recollection, SWTOR,
Yeah. Remember when we
SWTOR
played
was
Planet
always-
Stories more than once? How great was
Yeah.
that?
That was really cool. But yeah, but I mean, like, I don't recall ever being able to flirt with him as a female character, which I think it says something to you. Like that was his direction, and he wasn't changing from that.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, so there is a little bit of diversity in this. It's not like
And for the girls, you, as a trooper, you could flirt with, what was it, Baker, the SIS guy on Narshada?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you could straight
But
up
as a
hook up
guy-
with him.
Really?
No, not Baker.
Yeah.
The contact on Narshada. The
Yeah.
big overweight guy. You could totally
no.
hook
That
up with
was-
him.
Okay,
That was a
that
fade
ew,
to black.
what?
And then when
That
you
was
fade back
Agent.
in,
Yeah.
you're rolling off of the couch and getting up. Like
That
yeah.
was Agent, though. That wasn't. That
Yeah,
was
that
the
was
agent.
Agent. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember specifically because I just did that storyline. I was like, no, that's the agent.
But I was talking about the
Um,
trooper, right? The
yeah, the
Baker, right?
trooper-
That you meet up with on
You
Narshada?
don't- Yeah,
And you like
they
flirt
give
with
you
them a
the-
bunch of times, and you make Jorgen all unhappy.
Yeah, but nothing happens. Like
Right, I know.
It's leading you there, and then it's like, just kidding, laters.
Right.
our chat is
I
actually really
like him,
helpful
actually.
because I mean here Sue is saying that there is the light side Jason you couldn't romance at all. So I think
Yeah, that was a
there
unique
is-
one.
There is
And
some like where this character is who they are, and you can't.
Mostly for guys. There's
I was
diversity
very
for the
frustrated
guys.
though
Yeah.
with Jason because my first time through I played a guy and I played light side. So I took Jason light side. And then I was like, oh, well, I guess I'd better romance her. And then I went to romance her, and they're like, no, you can't romance her because she's light side. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Because I'm only going to do this dark side on a female. Of course, I eventually got back to it. I've done this game way too many times.
Yeah, so what I was trying to say for the male trooper, someone brought it up because I didn't get to say it. Thank you very much. The male trooper does get someone to sleep with. Rena, you said it was the female, but it was the male. They get Jaxo where they can meet up with them several times. And they actually make a decision later on that can save or let that person go.
Yeah, yes. The smuggler is able to hook up with half a dozen different people throughout the galaxy.
No, the trooper.
No, I'm talking about the smuggler is able to hook up with half a dozen people throughout the galaxy, the male. But he can also permanently romance 2 of his permanent companions. He could do Akavi or Risha.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I will say though that
there's a lot of guys that are able to hook up or have one night stands throughout their story.
Yeah. Married boss.
The agent is the only one that I'm aware of that actually is able to employ that, and it is quite frankly very appropriate for her role, but it does seem fairly focused on the
Kaleo approves every dang time, which is I think very interesting. You hate Kaleo.
That makes sense though, because Kaleo's an anarchist, so it makes sense that she approves of everything against the norm. Everything that's set and typical, she's against it. So if you're hooking up with someone else while you're romancing her, she's like, "That was good, good one. You got laid."
But I think that's well written for her character. Then, like her character is okay with everything, that kind of stuff. So I think there's maybe a little.
So is Andronikos though. Andronikos is for the SWTOR, female SWTOR. When you're on Alderaan, you have a chance to sleep with the Sith that's there helping. And Andronikos is like, okay, well, I'm going to go find me some help too. So he goes and hooks up with a server or someone living in the house there while you're sleeping with the Sith. And he's like, he's asking basically, are you doing better now? You're like, oh, it was wonderful. And he's like, okay. And it says Andronikos approves at the bottom. So Andronikos likes that too. Andronikos and Kaleo, they're the wild cards.
Wow.
So the other issue.
I always thought his tattoo was really cool. The one on his face.
Yeah. That's why I never changed his customization.
It's very Mike Tyson.
Oh, now that I've ruined it for you. Why did you say that?
But it's true.
Yeah. Dang it. He doesn't talk like a 12-year-old boy, so it's okay.
So the other issue, and let's just mention this quick, and to see if you guys have anything to say to this, is the fact that they haven't brought so many back. I know we could unpack this for an hour and a half on its own, but there's so many that they haven't brought back. For me, it bothers me that you were like the king or the queen of the whole galaxy, right? You're the leader of this thing. Like, you should have a high profile. If they're around anywhere, if they were kept prisoner on the spice mines of Kessel or something, then yes, I can understand them not coming to meet you. But, I think that you having that kind of high profile would at least bring them out of the woodwork,
Or at the very least, you would get a letter.
Yeah.
Right? Or
Some
something.
kind of, hey, I'm busy.
Hey, so-and-so said for me to pass this along to you. Here it is. Because they know by that point that you're there. Yeah. I mean, if you've made it past a certain point.
So I'm saying, like, Vector can go over the galaxy. He's got Killix everywhere, but he's never said anything to you. It's like, so is he mad at you? Does he know? Did he have Killix in the room when you were cheating with Theron? I mean, why hasn't Vector ever said anything?
I think it's going to become increasingly difficult for them to bring these characters back. They're going to have to do some good writing. Because the question for us all now is, why weren't you here earlier? And they're going to have to answer that for every single, especially in the romantic relationships. But
no, they've already said a lot of the characters that they're bringing back is going to be in the Alliance alerts. It's going to be like 5-minute writing, tiny little scene, you're done, they're back in your list. That's it.
All right, seriously, Sakari, you genuinely think that your wife or your husband is important enough to be given story time? Come on, man. You push the button, they come running. That's the way this game is written.
Yeah, we don't write story anymore. We just make this happen in a flashpoint.
Yeah, they already said Alliance alerts is where they're going to bring most of them back. So they said they're looking at bringing them back through story, but they acknowledge that they will bring most of them back through Alliance alerts. So we'll be lucky if we get more than a 5-minute scene for any of them.
I'll be looking at participating in their story when it doesn't involve my smuggler becoming a Force user that takes over the galaxy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I had that problem. I wrote an article about that issue.
Oh,
to
did
this
you?
day I struggle to get my mind around how like the bounty hunter and
Yeah.
they should not care. The bounty hunter doesn't care who's in power as long as he can make some, kill his quarry and get away.
I
with it,
don't
make some money
know.
off
My
of it.
bounty hunter talks goes like, yeah, I'm gonna rule the galaxy with an iron fist. Everybody does what I want. So I don't know about that. She's pretty
I
excited.
suspect Magic might be
Mandalore will rise
projecting.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. She's all like, and she married Torian, so she's full into the Mando thing. She had to let Theron go, unfortunately, because Torian's her one true love. But she kept him on the side. Well, at least that's in her head. Oh, okay. I have a question, real quick, about these things coming out, the Alliance alerts. My question is something we didn't bring up in Slack. We were talking about writing and stuff like that. My question is, did you specifically like any of the way the Alliance alerts brought back companions? Or, like, did any of them stand out to you where you're like, oh my gosh, that was awesome? Or were they just kind of, like, forgettable, all of them?
That is a difficult question.
I like the Blizz one, but
Yeah,
Blizz?
you gotta earn Blizz back, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was cool.
excuse me. Yeah, I liked that one. And I mean, I thought the whole thing with Bodar and the, the arena thing
Mhm.
was good.
Masters of
But
Mayhem.
I specifically have not. I've only brought back the characters I actually felt the need to spend time on. So those are the ones I brought back. So
Actually,
Yeah,
like
I kind of reject this
That was
idea
fun.
that I should collect as many companions as possible. It's like, the first time I did that, I was like, oh, I got to collect them all. They're like Pokemon, go out there and get them all. The second
On
time,
two characters, I've done that. One Pub Tune and one
Yeah.
M Tune. The rest of them are pick and choose.
yeah, pick and choose. And I think that's what you're supposed to do is go like, you know what? I don't think we're gonna. You're not my alliance material, and you should be able to customize your alliance more. But then the only thing that worries me is that looking at how Theron can go, can betray and disappear. Other people can die. Other people can
yeah,
die.
spoilers, y'all.
Get killed.
Hope everybody's played that.
If you haven't played it by now, my goodness.
I haven't.
I will just say though,
Red has
with
it.
the caveat, my bounty hunter also was married to someone on Alderaan. She's the Baroness, so therefore she's also got someone else on the side there too. So romance for the bounty hunter
Talk about
and
Pokemon.
the agent was fun. The
Gotta
rest of
collect them
them
all.
not so much. Yeah, exactly.
Catch 'em all.
She's collecting them all. The rest of them not so much.
I
Um,
just found it. Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the more and more they piled on, it felt like Facebook, where I felt like I had to make a comment and everybody's comment on my wall. That's what it got to the point of, and I can't stand Facebook for that reason. So I started deciding that I was only going to take care of the ones I cared about. There wasn't that many. Go ahead, Magic. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, if I would actually go and play Kotfi and Kotet more, if there was a way to actually delete people from that list. But I'm sorry, I'm really happy when my list is my 5, my HK51, and my E that I like, even if other people boo-hoo the noises she makes. And I don't need any more than that, because I can send those out for the crafting or whatever and have one to run around with me and
Did
do
you
whatever.
notice?
I'm very happy with that, and it's a very short list. I don't have to spin through it and look. And guess what? I've gotten their influence up, and I haven't lost them because I'm not playing that stupid game where I'm supposed to get 50, and I can't even find them in the stupid list. And I
Yeah,
guess they
but-
chose not to give me
Wait.
that one back.
But
Like,
you can just
notice
not
the
get them.
cutscene?
You
Did
don't
you guys
have
notice
to
the
get them.
cutscene?
but you can't because there's a blinking alert light that stays in your window forever.
So just put
That's
a piece
true.
of tape right there so that you can
No.
just
Put a
like.
piece
Or
of tape.
don't start the
Right there.
story and never be bothered by it.
No, you
You,
can.
you said HK. I need to tell you this already. You said HK and it the light bulb went off. Did you guys see the cutscene? If you had a character that had HK or Treek or both of them from before, when you first get to the Odessin cantina, there's one where HK51 is looking around at people going, I don't know if I like these people. And then Treek gets down, says something, and they're like, what does she say? And HK51 says she's saying that she wants to drink or she's going to go hunting or whatever it was that they said. And I was like, what? None of my other people had this. I just recently did it on my first Sork, and she had Treek and she had HK51. I was like, what? How did I not know that this was in there? that blew my mind. I was really excited about that they acknowledged that HK51 and Treek were there. That was awesome. Okay, I'm done.
Ooh, if it turns out that because you have that one unlocked, HK51 is the one that kills HK55, then I'm in. All
That would
the
be
way.
hilarious. Okay, so we have an announcement to make. How many people, like cosmetic things in the game? I'm pretty sure a majority of us, since they've made so many changes to cosmetics in the game. And when I say cosmetics, I mean like your outfit designer, where you can change the outfit. You can have like 16 or how many ever outfits it is, or how you can change their hair color. You can change their hairstyle. You can have the makeup or scars or tattoos. All these things that we are considering cosmetics. Well, we want to know what you guys like, and we want to know if you guys are proud of it like we are. So we are having a kind of dress up / cosmetics competition, so to speak. We want to have everybody that wants to participate submit a screenshot of a character with specific cosmetics. Like, for example, I have a character that I styled after Psylocke, which is a character from X-Men, which I absolutely loved. And I was super proud of her. And she's got an awesome mount, and she's got like a whole bunch of stuff about her, cosmetic-wise. If you guys have got something like that, we would be interested in having a contest for that, we would show the results the 30th of October. I think that's our last show for October.
This is leading into Halloween, if you guys haven't picked up on
Yeah.
that.
So it's a little event. It's our first event for the council. So
So where are they supposed to send us their screenshots?
I was actually about to ask Sakari that because I asked Sakari about that.
So
the Council SWTOR at councilswotor.com.
Yeah, well, it's the council. The email address for the council is thecouncil@thecouncilswotor.com. Go ahead and submit your screenshots that way. Make sure that we know. I think we have to let us have your Twitch name, if you don't mind, as well. Because if you have a Twitch name, this is gonna be an interesting problem. But like, we'll flesh this out. We'll get it back to you. But I just want to make sure that we get whatever prizes we have for this, and we can have some prizes for sure. That we get it to you, and the person that submits it is the person that gets that wins. Actually, is the person that gets the prize. I want to make sure that we avoid scams.
And you do need to be okay with us using the image, because we will want to use it on the show if it's cool enough. You know, if you've got like Spider-Man or Wonder Woman, she's really hot right now.
So for a couple,
I've seen a Supergirl one that was freaking epic, and a Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I've just got to say this. Some things are super creative. People are super creative in this game.
If I recall, Vasmy has a Wonder Woman. I want to say Chill from Utinicast. He does like Chill Hulk. He's got one that was based on the Hulk. And Nightcrawler. I mean, he's done a bunch of them. So Harley Quinn, he's got a few.
But these don't have to be outside of Star Wars. You could have stylized, like you could have someone completely all Revan, or you could have someone completely all like, Carthonessi. Like, it's not. I use Psylocke as an example because that's one I was particularly proud of. So it doesn't have to be out of Star Wars. It could be any customization.
You gave her an idea.
That was the very first armor I ever unlocked in Legacy, was Carthonessi.
I'm thinking in my head through the items that I've seen on the, like SWTOR or whatever. I bet if somebody got clever, they might be able to create something similar, like out of Game of Thrones style stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be pretty cool.
I have to get on tour fashion. It's pretty cool to see all the different outfits and stuff people come up with. I spend way too much time on the website. Way too much time on that. And tour decorator, but I won't even go down that road.
We can make an announcement this week with more details and like a defined list for you guys. We just want to get it out there so if you guys can get those juices flowing. So, I've
got a way you might be able to get bonus points and might be in the running for the finals.
Don't make one that looks like
if you use your stronghold to create a background that joins the theme of your character. Elise might actually go for you. Just saying.
That would be
more decorations.
That would be pretty cool.
Decos. Well, so we want that to happen, and we want you guys to participate.
So Magic, You want to do your thank yous real quick? We've got like 3 minutes.
Oh, well, I'll have to do it very quickly then. That's what she said. Thank you all for coming to the Council SWTOR. We appreciate it. We absolutely love that you guys are interested in this and that you love it because we love it and we love that you love it. And there's lots of love and it's all creepy and everything. So thank you for everyone who's listening, who's watching on YouTube, who's here. We are thankful and we want you guys to keep coming back because we want to keep doing this. We love it. We love Star Wars: The Old Republic.
All right, Redna, knock it out. Wrap us up.
That's what she said.
No glove, no love.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the episode. The council is adjourned, and if you'd like to reach us, you can. Email us at thecouncil@thecouncilswotor.com. You can find Elise on Twitter at @abrown35. Magic Ace at the Magic Ace. That's with a J and a K. Redna at R3DN4 and Sakari at I am Sakari. Don't forget to visit our website, thecouncilswotor.com, and follow us on social media. Also, don't forget our money page at patreon.com/thecouncilswotor. We have one friend in the entire world willing to give us money. That's all I'm saying. That's it for this week, guys.
We appreciate them so.
And
Yes,
thank
we
you.
do.
Thank you all for watching the show where it's true. All of it.
Very nice. Very nice.
Night,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
Says the floating head. Good night.
Bye.
I understand.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Forgive me, Master.